Hello, welcome to my next video. I'm hoping that I fixed my audio issues, and if I didn't, well, I'll keep working on it and trying to get that to not sound like I'm as muffled as I come across in the videos for some reason. It's really annoying me. Anyways, this is my next video. Admittedly, this will be kind of a rant slash continuation of my previous video, which was all about how I should be spending my time and, spending my time on stuff that I actually find is worth spending my time on versus doing stuff that I don't enjoy, which I will make a quick acknowledgement that you're going to do stuff in life that you don't enjoy, but I don't actively seek it out. I don't actively put myself into things that is going to be unenjoyable for me because, I mean, at that point, you're just doing stuff to be miserable, and I'm not going to purposefully seek that out. Some people out there have this weird complex with it. They have this really weird identity with being miserable and not enjoying life and killing yourself for a career that doesn't care about you and all the stuff that ultimately doesn't matter. And I think Palworld for me has been one of the biggest eye-openers of the fact that people do that. So what I mean by that, as specifically, is there's these Nintendo, fanboys out there who absolutely despise Palworld. And to me, it really does almost feel like they're just trying to be miserable. Like, they're working overtime for a company that sees them as nothing more than an ATM machine. That's exactly how Nintendo views its audience. If you get Nintendo products, just know that's all you are to them. You are an ATM machine. That's all you'll ever be. They don't care about you, the consumer. They just want you to consume. And it's the same thing with the real world. Outside of all of this, they don't care about you, the worker. They don't care about you, the parent or spouse or anything like that. They see you as a number. And either you're a number that is making the numbers they care about go up, or you're a number that's partially making it go down. I don't really think, outside of some very specific circumstances, I don't think that most people are actually contributing to bad quarters in companies. I just don't see it that way. But the minute that they start seeing the bad numbers, you become a less valuable number, and now we're going to get rid of you. It's and them doing that, they still sit there and say, well, it's supposed to be miserable. If you're not miserable, then you're not working a real job. You're not working a real career. Being an adult is all about being miserable, and they wear it like this weird badge of honor. Like, it's so strange to me because when you actually get into I'll make two comparisons here. One of them is just talking about how humans are supposed to be living and experiencing life, and part of that actually is, living, but going and spending, 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, sometimes more, depending on kind of worker you are, that's not living. I'm afraid to tell you, my friend, that that is not living. There's been a lot of cultures, a lot of good cultures, that used to have leisure time, where you would just exist, and you would just walk around existing. And that's mostly because a lot of societies, they kind of ran off of, not all of them, mind you, but, they ran based off of how the seasons would change, and, there was times to work because there'd be harvest coming in and things like that, and then there'd be times for more resting with preparing to work for the harvest. There is always work to do, but the amount of it would be different. And there'd be a lot of this kind of leisure time where you go and you experience life and what it is. And now they've made it seem like, well, your job is your life, your career is your life. If you're not grinding every day, if you're not the David Goggins of your career field, then you're basically worthless. Which is just a huge grift to me, because to me, that's not. I just don't jive with that. I can work. I have worked. You can ask anybody who knows me. I'm not a lazy person. If anything, I learned the hard way that, being the hard worker doesn't get you what you want. You need to be the lazy worker to get what you want, which is ironic, because, they want you to work hard, but they don't want you to work too hard. And that's just not life to me. And it never will be. I used to think that way, and I just don't anymore, because it's outside the scope of how I see and view the world. The other comparison is the Bible does talk about suffering, and how you will suffer in this life, and that's a given. It's promised. You will suffer. But God doesn't want you to suffer, and He doesn't want you to go through life miserable. In fact, a lot of what is talked about is the joy that He will give you, which is, I think this is just becoming a series at this point, because that's just the message I'm on, is the joy that God gives us. And I hope if any of you watch this, you can come to learn that joy, and maybe I can say the right things at some point and help you understand it. But even if I can't do that, I hope to just give you the joy in general of not being held to some expectation from a world that clearly doesn't care about you. Why should we care what they want us to be like when they see us as cattle, basically? And maybe even below cattle, to be completely honest. Who really knows how they view us? Because we all know they won't say it, but we sure know they think it. I mean, they think it. They spend their days trying to figure out how to drain us as much from our resources and energy as they can. So much so that it seems they've hit the tipping point, and it's weird to say it out loud, because it makes me sound like they're being evil just to be evil. But I think they've really become so blinded by their greed and their arrogance that they really expect that people are just going to keep turning this wheel for them. They're going to keep this machine going, and they're still going to be able to extract the most amount of resources out of you without there being any negative consequences to this at all. I believe the amount of anger and violence that we see, which is inherent to us as people, it's being exposed out of us more and more frequently, because people don't really have that hope and joy that they should have. And, I'm not saying that when you have the hope and joy, all of that goes away. I still get angry. I still get upset. I still get frustrated. I'm still very much human in that aspect. But what I am saying is that it's become easier to manage and control it than it was before. And that's not to say that I'm perfect, but I can manage it a lot better than I could. But when you don't have any joy and you don't have any hope, like I also didn't for a very long time, it's so easy to just be angry. It's so easy to just let that anger out. And I did that for a long time too. I got mad at everybody. I took things out on a lot of other people. I did it constantly. And it really got bad when I was still working in customer service. It got really bad. There was a mix of the most entitled, mentally unstable people I have ever interacted with, who not only called you, but you also worked for. And it really made me just be a bad person. And, you know, coming from some of the stuff in my past, I can confidently say that I know there was a certain point in my life where I would have seen what happened with that warehouse that guy burnt down. There's for sure a part of me that would have been like, yeah, good. That's good. It's good that that's happening. It needs to happen more. And I'm not there anymore. But I understand where he's coming from. And I very much understand the feelings of wanting to do that stuff. And it really does. It comes down to you don't have hope, you don't have joy. You're giving things away to a system that doesn't care about you. You're letting it make you miserable. And I think the sooner that we stop letting them make us miserable, and the sooner that we start choosing to experience life, to experience the joy of life and the hope that it gives, primarily that being from God, which I will always point back to. He's the one who gives all of that. Just the better off we're going to be, the better of a society we're going to be in. But that's really my overall message. It's just learn to prioritize living and experiencing life and living with the joy and hope that God gives you. And stop giving your time and energy and attention away to things that make you miserable. Because that stuff's never going to pan out. And the only way we can change, because we can't. I know there's some people out there who really want to believe that with all the guns we have and all that we could have some sort of uprising and really change this. It's just not true. They have shown time and time again that is not true. We cannot do it that way anymore. We might be able to hold out for a little while with like a guerrilla style warfare, but even then, it's not going to create the amount of change that we really need. The only way forward now is just to stop turning their wheel and show them, we're not going to do this for you anymore. We're going to live our lives for ourselves. We're not going to keep turning your wheel. We're going to do stuff to make the wheel that's important to us in our life turn. And, you're not contributing to that anymore, so we're not going to help you out anymore. And I firmly believe we're going to see a lot more alternative communities, maybe even more nomadic life styles out there. Probably around this van life stuff. We're probably going to see more nomadic things like that happening as time goes on. And I used to think that was a foolish idea, but now I think that's amazing. That's the best possible thing for us is a peaceful rejection of this society, forming a new one. And either they're going to listen to us, or whatever this new society is, we can give that a chance. But either way, things have to change, and I think it starts with us, and it starts with accepting that God has a joy and a hope for you, and He wants you to have it. So please, my brothers and sisters, give your life to Christ. That's all I have to say, and have a blessed day.